Hello everyone, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art. Today is day 27 of 365 days of junk journal ideas, and today we're going to be making a junk journal cover in under 15 minutes. What you're going to need for supplies today is I'm going to use a piece of 9 by 12 very heavy duty thick watercolor cardstock. I like the watercolor cardstock because it is really durable. It's also a pressed paper, again, for thickness and durability. And also the 9 by 12 size is very important because when you fold it in half, you're going to end up with a 6 by 9 standard size junk journal. So a lot of people, their favorite size, many people, is a 6 by 9. I think it's the most popular size junk journal out there. If you look on Etsy, what's available for sale, it's usually a 6 by 9. So when you fold a 9 by 12 sheet of cardstock in half, landscape format, you're going to end up with a 6 by 9. So again, that's what I'm using, 9 by 12, super heavy duty, thick watercolor cardstock. First thing that you're going to want to do is put a score line in your cardstock right in the center. So put it into your cutter or your scoring tool, whatever you want to do. I'm lining mine up with a 6-inch over here, and then I'm going to close this down. I'm not going to use, this is my cutting blade, I'm not going to use that. I've just moved it out of the way. And then I've got my scoring tool in my hand, my bone folder, whatever you want to use. Like you could use the point, the fold, and then you just go ahead and slide it down that cut channel there. So the cut channel in your cutting tool is also for scoring. Tim Holtz does have a scoring blade. I don't like to use it. My preference is to use my own hand and my bone folder. So anytime you have a cutter that has one of these channels down it, you can take your little bone folder and slide down it, and it's a scoring tool. So let's move this out of the way. We're done with that for now. We're going to set our cardstock aside. So you can see I've got my score down halfway. The score line is really important because we're using such thick cardstock. After we cover it with our decorative papers to make our cover, it would be very hard to get this to fold perfectly. So anytime that you are going to make a cover that you're going to fold in half, you're going to want to put a score line in before you do any other work on it. That way, when it is done, it is time to fold it, it folds that nice, crisp seam down the center of it. So let's go ahead and pick out papers. Today I'm going to be using Italian Florentine paper to cover my junk journal cover with. And so I have chosen a couple of different patterns. I'm going to make a Valentine's Day journal. So I've chosen this red and pink poppy design as well as this little red fleur-de-lis. And so it's going to be a French poppy Valentine's Day cover. The reason why I'm choosing these papers is A, they are beautiful papers. They're available in my live sale. So these papers, they come in a 20-inch by 28-inch size, so I can get many, many journal covers out of one sheet of paper. The other reason is I just think that they're beautiful. There's little gold accents on them, and after we're done decorating our cover, it's going to be beautiful. So I've chosen these two. However, this was my backup option right here. It's this gold floral with this kind of navy blue cross design there. That would also be a beautiful combination. There's pinks and there's blacks and whites, and there's some Christmas papers in here. This is just a variety of papers that I've been crafting with for a little while. So I'm going to flip through them just very briefly here, kind of, you know, these were some that I could have chose options from today. Some I've already used, like that purple. And here's another combination that would have been nice, is the orange poppy. So there's lots of different options for papers out there. You don't have to use Florentine paper. You could use whatever paper you want to use. A printed digital would work. A piece of 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper will work. Anything that is large enough to cover a 9 by 12 surface would work. So let's go ahead and pull the two that we're going to use. Those two, and let me set these ones aside. And like I said, they're large sheets of paper. Just be prepared for a large work surface. Okay, so here's our sheets of paper. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut both of them down to size quick, just so that I can, you know, fit them on camera and work with them. And I like to cut them oversized, and then I'm going to have a lot of extra paper. And that's just going to become collage material later, my little scraps here. So we've got those cut down to a manageable size. The next thing we're going to do is take our cover. This is our cardstock cover that we scored. It will fit on both of our pieces of paper, so we're good there. And then we're going to take a glue stick. Now I'm going to use the UHU Magic Blue glue stick. This is definitely a very strong permanent adhesive glue stick. And you're going to want to cover your cardstock completely edge to edge very thoroughly with the glue stick. And then there's another little trick I will show you. If you are using a glue stick to make a cover, it's very important that you do that extra little step that I'm going to show you here in just a second. So I'm going to use quite a bit of glue on this. You guys are going to see it's the Magic Blue glue stick. So all of this blue glue will dry clear. Not that you're going to see any of it, but I'm just saying you're going to see it dry. I'm in Arizona, and so things dry here pretty quickly. And I am going to go edge to edge all the way around, applying a liberal amount of glue. And so this is a cover. It's very important that whatever we cover our cover with, that it is stuck down. And so there's a little trick I'll show you. So I'm getting all the edges all the way around. And then this side. And gluing. And so the watercolor cardstock has a tooth to it. It has a texture. And that texture is what kind of helps keep the glue. It kind of, I don't know how to explain it. The glue gets in that texture, and that is kind of what helps hold the cardstock. The next trick that I'm going to show you is you want to take this piece, set it to the side, take the piece of paper that you're going to use on your cover, flip it upside down, making sure you don't have any glue or anything in the way. Flip your paper upside down. Then take your art glitter glue. Your art glitter glue is going to go around the edge. So you've got it like this. It's got glue everywhere. Go ahead and put a small little bead of art glitter glue all the way around the edge of your cardstock, paying close attention to those corners. And that's just going to help hold your glue stick around the most crucial edges, the most crucial part of your cover. And so there we've got some glue all the way around. You can go ahead and put some through here if you want. It's not necessary, really. The glue stick is enough to hold it, but just that little bit of art glitter glue around the edge really makes a difference. And so then from there, I'm just gonna line it up. I'm not doing all the way to the edge. I'm leaving a little bit, and I'm not doing straight. I'm just getting it on there. And so after you put your glue side down, press it out with your hands here. Give it a second to grab all the way around, and then flip it over. This is our front. This is our cover. And you want to feel with your fingers and just make sure that you don't have any little ripples or bends or anything like that. Our cover feels really good. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm just going to just gently, not pushing hard, and just slide it from side to side. And that's just going to, again, press that paper down nicely, making sure that there's no air bubbles, that there's nothing in there, you know, keeping things from getting stuck down. That feels really good all the way around the edge. I'm happy with that one. Next thing you want to do is you want to cut around your cover. So you've got that little overhang, and I left that deliberately just in case something moved, something like that. Again, I'm not worried about the little bit of scrap that might have to be thrown away. I generally use whatever is left for collage anyway. So we're good with that. Just cut around your cover. Now, if you have a piece of paper that you are trying to cover something with, and this is just general crafting tip. So our cover was 9 by 12. That's the cardstock that we use. You're going to want a piece of paper to cover the 9 by 12 cardstock that is larger than 9 by 12. You want to give yourself that little bit of space, because if you've ever tried to put a 9 by 12 piece of paper on a 9 by 12 piece of cardstock, it is nearly impossible to get it 100% lined up. So just go with the knowledge that you're going to want an oversized piece of paper to cover your cardstock with, and then you won't be frustrated in the end. All watercolor cardstock are all paper. When you put glue on one side of it, when we put glue on this side of the cardstock, it makes it curl. All paper will curl when there is moisture on only one side of it. So just make sure you've got a larger sheet of paper to start with, and then you will not be frustrated in the end. So this is what it looks like so far. We're going to add our second piece of paper now. So we're going to take, I'm going to go ahead and get a new glue stick just because this one is nearing the end. Take your glue stick, and you're going to do the same thing on this side, and it doesn't matter, you know, what side is what side at this point. It doesn't matter about folds and valleys for your crease line either. It really doesn't on a cover. So there we go. We're going to just cover that liberally with glue. Make sure that whenever you're covering that you don't leave any white areas. Those white areas will become little pockets of air in your cover. So just make sure that you're making, you know, the glue go all the way to the edge, top and bottom, all the way around. And that part just takes a minute. I hope you guys are going to have a good day today. It is very early in the morning here. My video was a little bit delayed today just because today is such a busy day here. We've got big doctor's appointments and all kinds of other things. Plus, I wanted to do this project and I was not quite prepared for it this morning. So there we go. We've got that. And now we've got our second piece of paper. That second piece of paper, you're just going to pick up your cardstock, put that piece of paper down. Make sure that if you have a directional pattern, like this is definitely directional. I want my fleur-de-lis to go up, so they are facing up. Then look at your cover and make sure that is the right way, right? We're going to flip that over here in just a second. We're going to do that art glitter glue trick all the way around the edge again. And again, it's just for security. It just holds that glue, if it's going to work. Now it's not going to work. Well, that just happened. There we go. I left it open for like a millisecond. I have the ceiling fan on here, even though the heater is on. And so when you have the ceiling fan on and you're using art glitter glue or glue stick or whatever you're using, that dries pretty quick in Arizona. Our air is so dry, especially at the winter time. Okay, so I've added some art glitter glue there. I'll make sure to put my pin back in now. I really don't have a problem with art glitter as long as I make sure that I keep that pin in it and I keep it closed. Okay, so we've got our glue on. We're going to just flip it over. This is the right side. I'm going to try to get it up there kind of close to the edge. Not off my paper. No, not off my paper. I have to craft a good, 12, 14 inches away from my face. So hopefully we got it there. We did. Okay. So there we go. We've got that smoothed down, and we're going to do the same thing where we smooth it all the way around with our fingers first. And then we're going to take that bone folder across the back side. So here's the bone folder, and then we're not done yet. We have a couple more steps to do. Bone folder on the back side. And this makes a lovely, thick, durable cover. You could make this any size that you wanted to make it. So if you only have an 8.5 by 11 piece of watercolor cardstock, you can make it. If you don't have watercolor cardstock, you can use thinner cardstock. That would work too. I would just caution you that the watercolor cardstock is kind of unique in the fact that it is a pressed watercolor paper. So when you press it, it makes it thick and fluffy kind of. It's very cottony because it's watercolor, right? And it just is a little bit different than regular cardstock, but you could give regular cardstock a try and see how you like it. You could sew around this. You could add lace in here in the layers. I've done these a bunch of different ways. This is one of my favorite ways of making a junk journal cover. It's easy and it's very durable in the end. And so this is for a single signature journal, meaning you'll have one signature of about, I like to do in a single signature journal about 15 pages. I can do maybe up to 20 pages. And when I say 15 pages, I mean 15 pages of 8.5 by 11, like 28-pound paper that's folded in half. So that's 15 sheets, meaning in the end, you will have 60 journaling pages in your journal. So here's the front cover. I'll smooth that down again, making sure everything is covered. We're covered all the way around. Everything is smooth. And so this, the glue is still kind of wet on this one. You can give it a few minutes to dry. I wouldn't advise using a heat gun. I really like letting the covers air dry. And so we're going to go ahead and start working with it. You at home probably want to give it just a few minutes, 10-15 minutes so to dry. But let's go ahead and fold that over. And we're going to just match up our sides right here, match up our corners. We've already done the crease, the score line, and so that's why it's going to fold beautifully right here. If you didn't do a score line ahead of time, you're going to have a hard time folding it. So there it is. It's creased out. We're just going to let that dry. And that's going to be our cover. Now from here, I don't usually just leave them plain. I usually like to sew around them. So if you take it to the sewing machine, you're going to sew around it when it is open all the way around. You could do messy stitching. You could do one row of single, row stitching. You could do 2 rows. It doesn't really matter for stitching part. And that's your cover. Now on the inside here, I will add a couple of pockets on the front and back cover. This is the inside of my journal. This is the outside. And then on the outside, you can add lace down the spine of it once you sew in your signature. I usually add a focal point, like a big cover piece that I make and put there. That's a future video where we'll make cover pieces, journal toppers, if you will. But that's basically a 15-minute junk journal cover. And this one will be my Valentine's Day red and pink poppy journal cover. So it just needs to dry. It will flatten out as it dries. It has moisture on both sides right now. So if we just give it a little bit of time, it'll come out perfect. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you again tomorrow with a new idea. We do a video every single day. It is 365 days of junk journal ideas. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.